Today we're going to go ahead and show you how to put the Vecel floor kit together. The Vecel floor kit comes in 4 pieces. Okay, now you get the general orientation. We're going to go ahead and slide it together. You want to line the holes up. Now we're going to get a 3/4 inch flathead bolt and we're going to insert it into the floor. Probably want to spread it out. You're not going one by one. I'll put it aside. So here's the vinyl floor. In order for us to cut this out, we want to lay the top of the floor that's visible, onto the lay it flat on the ground. So you're going to get this is going to be the side that's faced up, and this is the side facing down. And just roll it out, and then lay the floor back down onto the vinyl floor. And then what you want to do next is you want to line it up to the edges so that you're not cutting so much. Now that we have the floor plates lined up onto the vinyl floor, we're going to grab our utility knife and we're going to go ahead and stencil out the vinyl floor using the floor plates as a stencil. So we're going to show you how to install the Vecel floor kit. And now is a good time to grab a buddy. It can be done by yourself. For the sake of this install, we're going to have Joe here help us install. Now that you saw this all put together, we're going to go ahead and install this into the truck bed. Okay, and just like that, it's on. Now we're going to grab a measuring tape and we're going to make sure that everything's nice and aligned. So you want to grab the measuring tape and make sure that the distance from the floor kit to the wall is the same on all sides. Now we're going to use a drill to drill through your truck bed. You're going to grab a 5/16 drill bit to drill through the truck bed. Now that you have the pilot holes drilled into the truck bed, we're going to have to remove the floor panels again and then finish off drilling the holes and putting the rib nuts. In this situation, you want the rib nut to be able to fit through the hole. So in some situations, you want to open up the hole a little bit wider. It just depends on the truck bed. Sometimes the composite beds needs to be opened up a little bit wider because it's thicker. Joe, you can show them how to do that. There we go. So we're going to show you 2 ways. Actually, there's 3 ways to fasten the floor to the truck bed. 2 of the ways requires you to use the rib nuts, and the other way we actually provide lock nuts so that you can go underneath your truck to fasten it. But in that situation, you would need another person to do the install. Right now, I'm going to show you how to use the manual rib nut setter. The manual rib nut setter can be found in your local Harbor Freight, or you can buy it on Amazon. I actually recommend getting a rib nut setter that's a lot longer than this so that you can get a little bit more leverage. So what you want to do now is grab the rib nut and screw it onto the tool. You want to get it down to the point where you see a little bit of the tool. So in this situation, like right about there. And then you get the other end of the tool and you fasten it, or you tighten it down. Okay, now that it's touching on both sides, you can insert it, push it down, fasten it here. Oh yeah, that's on there. So in order to know that it's good, generally it's a little flush to the truck bed, but you grab your bolt, you screw it in, and you do what we call a wiggle test. All right, not gonna go anywhere. And that's it. Another way to fasten rib nuts to the truck bed is to use this rib nut drill adapter. Now, you get the rib nut and then you screw it onto the drill adapter. Then you push down. You have to kind of get the feel when you use this tool, but you want to make sure that this stays in place when you use it. And you want to feel that when you're drilling, this doesn't move. So it's going to take some time to get used to that, but you'll be able to figure that out. I'll set it to number 1. Okay, just like that. So you want to make sure that when the drill is going, you want to slow it down just like you're braking as things get tighter. Because if you go too fast and you don't watch the speed, you can actually break through the truck bed. So you want to be careful about that. Now that you feel that things are fastened down, you just want to back it out. So you reverse your drill and you just push out, back up the tool. And then probably at the last bit, you want to just unscrew it like that, and you're done. Now we're going to put the floor back in, now that we're done with the rib nuts. And then from here, you want to get probably a flathead Phillips screw to check the alignment, to make sure that the holes on the floor itself is matching up with the rib nuts that you just drilled, like so. You grab your 2-inch 5/16 bolt, and then you put it through. You want to make sure that there's washers with it, like so. Now at this point, Joe's going to install the killer red tape that comes with your floor kit. We're going to start by putting the floor tape on the killer red tape onto the edge of this side of the floor. And you want to line it up on the passenger side of the floor towards the tailgate. And then you get your utility knife to cut around the edges. And Joe's using the floor plate as a guide to cut the rest of the killer red tape. There you go. Now that we have the tape all laid down, now comes the fun part. We're going to put the vinyl floor onto the floor plate, and things are going to start to look prettier. In this situation, you want to lay it down, make sure things look good and they're aligned. And then the tricky part is making sure that this doesn't move when you start peeling. So a trick we like to do is peel one side, and then we're going to flip it and peel the rest. So we'll go step by step on how to do that. Now that things are aligned, we're going to peel this strip to serve as an anchor so that the vinyl floor doesn't move. So now that you want to slap that down, make sure it's sticking. And then you're going to go on the opposite side. You're going to fold it like a taco. And then you want to go to the opposite side and start peeling. And then you're going to start to fold things back onto the opposite side. And then you want to apply some pressure. You want to start from here, and then you work your way out this direction. And if you find like everything's aligned, this is the time where you can use your roller to get the adhesive to go down. If you make any mistakes, or you find that you laid it down and it's not quite aligned, then you still have some time. You still have a few minutes to peel it back out and then realign. You still have a few minutes. This is not quite down yet. It hasn't cured, so you have time to peel it back out. But because this side has a bunch of adhesive already peeled open, and it's starting to, it's a lot stickier. This side won't move. And then you want to repeat the same steps. Start by rolling out from the middle out to the side. We're pretty much done with the floor, and we're going to start putting the modules in.